Welcome in to the Jacksonville Jaguar franchise, where today we have made it back to the playoffs for the second straight year under head coach Madison Boston. And we face a familiar foe of this year in the Las Vegas Raiders, who finished second in the AFC West, going 9-8. But as mentioned, this is a familiar battle, as not that long ago, week 13, we met the Raiders here in Jacksonville and decimated them 31-10. The big difference obviously coming with the quarterback change, as Trevor Lawrence, he played in that game for a majority of it. We saw Jaren Hall come in late on when the game was well in hand. But we will be without Trevor Lawrence today, injured until the AFC Conference Championship, and Jaren Hall beat by a new quarterback. Signed just 2 weeks ago, Taylor Heinicke coming on and was with the team during preseason, and he played extremely well last week in the second half, leading the comeback victory over the Texans. With that performance, Coach Madison Boston did make it official. Heinicke will be leading us to start this game, and hopefully until we get back Trevor Lawrence. But the big news around this team this year is how good the defense has performed and met the early expectations for both the media and Coach Boston. However, that was not the case when it came to the offense this year. We talked about having a lot more of a passing attack, and that fell well short. Some of the blame coming on rookie tight end and Maxwell Sexton, who did not meet the expectations originally put out by Coach Boston. But that's for a different reason than just not performing. His biggest problem has simply been that he just cannot stay healthy, and last week, his season came to an end with a ruptured disc. Now, the unfortunate part is, while he was our first pick in this series, most likely his ceiling, because of the injury rating being down at a 78, is probably tight end too. The good news for him is we do use a lot of tight end, so he will still see a lot of playing time, but when this season comes to an end, we might need to look for someone else to fill that main role, just again because the injury concern is too high. Right now, our biggest concern is going 1-0 in the playoffs, and it starts here in Duval, as Cook will have us underway. The playoffs have officially begun here, 2 years in a row for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were out the first round last year. They'll look for a better start against Gardner Minshew and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Minshew has had a pretty good year, 28 touchdowns, around 9 interceptions. However, about half of those came in the game against our Jaguars, as play one goes for no gain. That was Hall, the rookie, getting the tackle. Got to start the first play, but then Oluokun makes his return, as well as several other of the starters who got the last couple weeks off. But it's a first down for Brock Bowers. A little bit of an angle route there coming from the tight end. Jaguars held him to about 4, maybe 5 catches in the previous matchup, though the average less than a first down. And Hines Allen, he meets Pollard for the loss of 2. Throughout the season, this Jaguars defense has done a great job of slowing down the run. A good start brings up 2nd and 12. They look for play action. A throw downfield and squeezing it in between the coverage. He finds a second tight end. But just as we saw last week following the celebration, tight end will have to exit the field. Mayer will head to the sideline, brings up a 1st and 10 though at the 37, courtesy of the injured player. And Pollard hops over the ankle tackle of Oluokun, gains 7. Well, it hasn't been super steady. A couple key passing plays. Raiders are moving down the field just inside the 30 as they go back to Pollard, maybe getting by the line, about a gain of half a yard. It will force a 3rd and 2. They come out split shotgun look, one receiver either side. And read option beats Hines Allen, but Oluokun tracks down Gardner Minshew. Forces the 4th and 1 here at the 27. Perhaps those fresh legs with the 2-week break paying off here for our linebacker, as they go with a field goal sent right down the middle. Raiders take an early lead here in the wild card matchup and send out Taylor Heinicke and Travis ETN. Heineke went 12 of 20 with a touchdown, the game winner in their last matchup, starting at the 38. And ETN takes his first carry in, again, 2 weeks. He picks up 8. By the time he was sat on the bench to recover for the playoffs, Coach Boston had him in the top 5 for overall rushing yards and top 2 for receiving yards of all running backs. He gets stacked up on second by Baker. Now, one thing to note for the offensive line heading into this game is the rookie right tackle Luke Bacon is getting the start. Started the last 2 weeks, and it seems like he's claimed it for the playoffs. ETN breaks the tackle, can't burst away, but it's strong running as they're inside the 40. Jaguars haven't really had that steady rushing game the last couple weeks, with the backups getting some playing time. Levi Brown as well as Tank Bigsby throwing for the first time, and it's gonna be an interception for Taylor Heineke. It went straight to Baker. He had the stop route down the middle. The crossing route, however, was wide open. A big first miss there for Heineke in his first playoff game in quite some time. Last time, I believe, was with the Commanders. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, up by 7. They go Pollard, who's going to take it for 12. With only 17 total on the night. Definitely his biggest run of the game. Sets him up at the 43. They go bunch left side. Jacoby Myers in motion, takes it to the right-hand side. They go back to Pollard, who jukes by the safety, stepping down and picks up an extra 8. Jaguars got aggressive there, nearly paying for it. 2nd and 2, an early jump here should be a free play for the Raiders as they find Jacoby Myers down around the 35. With the catch, they could go ahead and decline that jump as they do get, I believe it was Lloyd. 1st and 10, they go Tony Pollard, and he is stuffed. Junior Alford, another rookie here for the Jaguars. With this potentially being the final year of Eric Armstead, either in the league or at least in Jacksonville, they're looking for him to step up. 2nd and 20, stretch to the outside. Ringo can't contain. Aluakin chases him down, tossing him down at about the 10. The Raiders are right back to scoring range as they come out with a tight single back look. They go play action, throwing outside and too high for the running back. Missed an opportunity there to at least gain a few yards. Sticking with the same look, Pollard finding that cutback lane for a few. That will force a 3rd and 7 here. They do snap the ball prior to the end of the quarter. Chased around, he throws out late, and it's a touchdown. Diving in goes Devontae Adams. A great job from Gardner Minshew under pressure from the middle. Finds his number 1 receiver to the outside, and he goes airborne over Campbell to extend the lead. As the first quarter comes to an end here, it is 10-0. Jacksonville trailing the Las Vegas Raiders. But really the big difference was the miscue from Taylor Heineke as his offense starts this second quarter at the 29. It was a strong possession to start last time. Can they get back to it as Spillane flies over, can't take down ETN, but sets him up for the big hit. It was as a gain of 2 as number 2 finally completes his first pass here, setting him up at the 31 with a shotgun look. And keeping it, Heineke looking to bounce outside, but Spillane, good contain. You can tell doesn't quite have that same speed as Lawrence, who might have been able to get out there. Does pick up 1 and forces a 3rd and 7. Hard count, no one jumps. They will look to throw, and coming up short as the hit applied by Max Crosby. Will force a punt here, already down 2 possessions. Definitely not the start Coach Boston was looking for. He needs his guys to respond. So far, they did pretty well against Devontae Adams, only 1 catch. But that 1 catch is a pretty big one. The touchdown last drive as Pollard plays pinball, picking up 8. And his last few runs have definitely opened up, extending that average. Look to go back his way. He's chopped down, but he flips forward for the first. If you're going to take a hit like that, at least make it worth something, and he definitely did. They're at the 43 with a 1st and 10. A delayed throw there on a very drawn-out RPO. Finds Myers' gain of 4. He had a pretty big impact in the previous matchup as well, led them in receptions. Pressure down the middle is Mason Smith. It's in the face of Minshew, forces an incomplete pass. It's 3rd and 6 at the 47. Come out with a shotgun look, motion to the right-hand side. They bring 5. It's blocked up well. Flag down and dropped by Brock Bowers. Potentially heard the footsteps coming in of Savage. Would have been a holding call. Jaguars will decline, and they will force the punt, taking over at the 24. They need a promising drive here. 5 minutes left in the first half. DeGuara in motion. Etienne finds a lane. Will pick up 6. Just as he was in that first drive, their most successful outside the turnover. Probably need to look to go back his way a little bit more. Buy time for Heineke to catch his groove as it's another short gain, setting up a 3rd and 1. Heineke making some changes out there. It's a stacked front for both sides. As they go ETN and stuffed. Again, they never got the block to the second level. Leonard gets the TFL. Has been a problem the last couple weeks. Offense, however, is going to stay on the field here. 4th and 4. They get the hard count down the middle in Wilkins, and that should be a free first down for the Jaguars. A risky move there from Boston. Makes you wonder if he was going to snap it anyway. But it's a 1st and 10 now at the 36. A tight look, single back set. As they look to throw, going underneath, he finds Thomas Jr. with a spin. A little bit short of the line to gain. He had a pretty impressive last couple games, taking over at wide receiver 1. Found a little bit of a groove with his backup QBs. Now starting quarterbacks as ETN, 2+ side. They're really relying on those quick hitters right down the middle. And if it keeps opening up, I'm sure they'll look to keep going that way. 1st and 10, it's supposed to be a jet sweep, turns into a jet dive. Gabe Davis. First time he's seen the field in a few weeks, picks up 9 as we move closer to the 2-minute warning. Gonna be play action here for Heineke, who bails, turns, throws, and misses Etienne. If he puts that one a little bit more on target, Etienne would have had a first down. Instead, it forces a 3rd and 1. Making a couple changes. Still back there is Heineke, DeGuara, and Etienne behind him. As they take it right down the middle, a first down conversion as we have a short break here for the 2-minute warning. The Jaguars definitely not in a hurry here. Would love to take up the time remaining in this first half as they have just 2 remaining at about the 30-yard line. They go play action across the middle and fitting it into a gap. Caught by Thomas Jr. Good touch from Taylor Heineke. Finds wide receiver 1/2. They really have 2 options. For the 1st and 10, quick under pressure. Heineke has to dump it. Looked like they were trying to set up the halfback screen to ETN. Instead, it's 2nd and goal here at the 10. Heineke making some more changes back there. As they set up a run left-hand side, he hits the gap a little bit slow. Wilkins able to bring him down. And will force a 3rd and goal. Here they're at the 5 inside, 50 seconds remaining. Hard count. Again, they're going to get someone to jump early over on the left-hand side of the defense. It's Tyree Wilson that they get with the call. So moving in a little bit closer. Jaguars change up their looks, go trips right side. Raiders with a lot to the left-hand side. They'll just hand it off for Etienne, who comes up short. Baker met him in the gap. The Raiders will call a timeout, trying to save some time potentially for an offensive drive here. But it is still the offense again here for the Jaguars, staying out there. Heineke making some pre-play adjustments from the 1. And perfect blocking here on 4th. Travis Etienne into the end zone. Jaguars answer back before the half. And it was with a long 4-minute-plus drive, taking up 13 plays. And a couple 4th down conversions to boot. But it does leave 37 seconds for the Raiders with 2 timeouts to try to re-extend that lead. As Gardner, he's got time until Walker finally gets off that block. A sack back at the 12, and a timeout coming in here from Coach Boston. Perhaps now trying to put the pressure on the Raiders as they're back at the 12. They stick with a spread look, though this time they look to run the ball and they go nowhere. Stuffed Eric Armstead. Second timeout called. Coach Boston now with 29 on the clock as they hand it off to Pollard. Will take up a couple more seconds. And it leaves the Jaguars getting the ball back. 18 seconds left in the half. Taylor Heineke, can he get them into field goal range? They start at the 37. It's a heavy look as they go play action. Rolling, he throws towards the sideline. It's caught. However, it doesn't look like the play's going to stand as they get called with a hold. Coming down the middle at center, a huge miss there for the Jaguars. That's going to push him back to the 27. Now just 13 seconds left. It's a hope and a prayer at this point as there is some pass rush. Throwing downfield. Again, he finds Brenton Strange out at the 49. 7 seconds. At this point, you might get one more play to the sideline. And then maybe you could try for that field goal opportunity. And they hit it to Gabe Davis. Great 2-3 plays from Taylor Heineke. And it'll set up the 44-yard attempt that Cam Little completely busted. Pulled that one well to the left. Another really good opportunity goes to the wayside here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Their first drive of the half and second drive of the half showed so much promise. But the turnover to end the first one and then just a botched field goal there for Cam Little, that's going to loom over him on what is a close wild card matchup as we don't have any updates on who has moved on quite yet. With some strong passing to end the first half, it's going to be the Jaguars right back out there, still looking to tie this game up. They start at the 29. 3 tight ends right side. They run left side for Travis Etienne, who will pick up 6. He's provided a nice burst to this offensive group here. Coming back again, some healthy legs, got a couple weeks rest. Goes right back to him. Marked just short of the first down. Of course, some of those running lanes to the left side have not been as open as they have been to the right. Running at the likes of Wilkins and Crosby. They might look to do that again as Etienne picks up the first down. Jaguars at the 43 with a fresh set. They'll come out bunched to the right-hand side. Heineke sends Duvernay in motion. We'll kind of break up that group as he's going to take it down the middle. Heineke, gain of 9. And that's where Lawrence did a fantastic job in the previous matchup between these two teams. Was second total on the day in running, counting both the Raiders and Jaguars running backs as Etienne gets caught up in a block. But for him, even when that happens, he still picks up the first down. Jaguars into plus side. Another heavy tight end look as it's play action. Taylor Heineke going to the outside, and Jaguar gets the catch. He breaks 1, picking up 3 in total. One of those plays that if they just kept running to the outside, perhaps it would have opened up a little bit more. It's 2nd and 7 as they go back to some play action. And delayed throw nearly finds Thomas. Looked like they were trying to set up the defenders for a deep ball. Find the late comeback, just the timing was off the mark. It's 3rd and 7. A spread look, and again, Heineke's going to get an early guy to jump. I believe it is Wilkins. Will be his second encroachment of the day. The play like that greatly favors the Jaguars, who have been such a prominent rushing team here. Makes it 3rd and short. They try the hard count again. Tyree Wilson did move early. However, it was because he was drawn off sides. So the ball shuffles back and forth. Now in courtesy of Brenton Strange, it's back to a 3rd and 7. 2 go left-hand side, 1 go to the right. They bring the quick blitz. It's out for Thomas, who's going to get stopped. 4th and 2. So again, those 2 yards come into play. But Coach Boston keeps the offense out there. It's a heavy set. As they run it, a lane opens up for Etienne, weaving through all the way down inside the red zone. He's got 92 on 16 carries. But still, the Jaguars are behind here, 10-7. The game started off with a lot of points, has turned a little bit more defensive. Etienne back down the middle, picking up 4. The line is very much getting a good early push, which is making some of these runs a lot easier here for Etienne. 2 go left-hand side, 1 to the right is Thomas for 2nd and 6. As they will look to throw the ball, Heineke, he might look to run the ball. Fighting into the end zone, the Jaguars have taken the lead here in Duval. Mark it a 14-10 game, concluding another long drive here for the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, taking up more than half of the third quarter. Raiders finally get their first possession of the second half. They start at the 25. Motion comes to the right-hand side as they fake the play action under pressure, and Walker is going to pick up a big sack. A flag comes in late, and it is a holding call. Coach Boston will decline that one. It forces a 2nd and 19 back at the 16. Jacksonville definitely feeling the momentum right now with a throw downfield, finding Jacoby Meyer. A well-timed play forces a 3rd and 3. As it's the double A gap look, they send the blitz late from the corner spot. Hines Allen in coverage forces Pollard down 2 yards shy. And the Raiders will go 3 and out as they elect to punt the ball away. Jacksonville with all the momentum as Heineke and the offense take the field starting at the 23. Another heavy look as they go to Travis with a lead block in Quinn Miners, having to get a little stiff arm to help get away. ETN picks up the first and goes over the century mark. Even missing the last couple weeks, he's picked up right where he left off, up to the 35 as that play clock is rolling. Looking to pass the ball, going downfield for Brenton Strange, and it's through his hands, nearly picked off by Coles. That should have and arguably could have been the biggest play of this game. Instead, it is 2nd and 10. Way back on your own side, ETN takes the carry outside but can't get free. Baker contains and forces a 3rd and 11. That will come after the break. We head to the 4th quarter. Whoever wins this quarter will head on to the divisional round. Jacksonville on top of the Raiders, 14-10. They'll have to convert a 3rd and 11. Still here at the 33, 2 to left side, 1 to the right in Thomas. Hard count, no one jumps. Heineke dropping back to throw, has an open target. Devin Duvernay gets the catch and speeds down the plus side sideline out at the 42. A big conversion there for the Jaguars and Taylor Heineke, who's very much cleaned up his play from his first pass. As they go back to Travis, down the middle for 2. You've got to give credit to their linebacker group. Spillane and Baker have been flying around. As it looked to be a potential read option set up there, it's stuffed by the Raiders defense. With a 3rd and long here, a good opportunity for the Raiders. About at the outside of field goal range for Cam Little. They'll set up the halfback screen. It's to Brown, who does not get the block despite there being 3 linemen there. Baker picks up the 1-yard TFL. And most would think that would force a punt, but again, the offense is staying on out here. We're about 5.5 minutes left in this game. Hard count, no one jumps. A couple people flinch. They go hard count again, no one jumps. 3rd time, it looks like they're going to get Levi Brown. So the hard count does not get them back into field goal range, and they will have to punt. It was a smart move from Coach Boston to try that. Raiders have jumped a few times today. Their offense hits the field starting at the 17. Number 17 only with 1 catch today, and it's the loss of 3. Hines Allen takes down Pollard. The defense that's received so much praise this year, they've really turned things on after that 10 early points. 2nd and 13. They find Adams again. It goes as a short gain, only his 2nd catch. Brings up 3rd and 6. And everyone covered up here. Minshew, he's trying to bail to the outside. Flag comes down. Jerrion Jones takes down Gardner Minshew short of the line to gain. And it is a holding call. Boston will decline, forcing them to try to go for it here, 4th and short. But instead, the Raiders do punt the ball away. Brown set back to return. And he's not putting a move on that, man. Taken down at the 24. Travis Etienne, over 100 yards today. Only 6 receiving. That's one part of the Jaguars' game plan that really hasn't opened up, is passing to the running back. But everything else has worked out pretty well. Etienne taken down. It's Max Crosby. We'll say he gets back to about the line of scrimmage. No gain as we approach the 3-minute mark. And a play action roll, throwing Heineke, finds Brenton Strange. A hit on that right before halftime. Unfortunately, it didn't end up counting with the hold. That's a nice play to get them a little bit further down the field. Back to Travis Etienne taking on Baker. That matchup has led to a lot of stalemates. They'll gift him about half a yard on it. 2nd and 9. As they fake the handoff down the middle. To the outside goes Thomas. Picks up a small block from Strange, and that's not going to secure the edge. But it is a very good tackle that forces a 3rd and 7 after the 2-minute warning. Raiders need to get the stop here. It's a tight shotgun look for Heineke, who gets a man to jump. They don't flag it. Ball comes out for Etienne, and it's going to be well short of the line to gain. I think Heineke was banking on that flag. Unfortunately for the Jaguars, it doesn't come in. Fortunately for the Raiders, it doesn't come in, and they'll have a chance to try to get a lead here. They'll need a touchdown. Field goal does them no good. Pass to the outside, a short catch, Brock Bowers. Been some time since we've called his name, had a couple grabs early on. He's been gone the whole middle part of this game. Line holding up well as they do find the dump off to Pollard. It forces a 3rd and 2, bringing the blitz. Jaguars, and wide open is Myers, who missed the catch. That would have been the go-ahead score, less than a minute remaining. An absolutely blown play. And we now catch the break. 4th and 1, and Mitchell with the hit stick, but short of the line to gain. Jaguars force the turnover on downs. And with 52 seconds left, they take over inside the plus side 30. Officially marked at the 29. They go the handoff. Etienne cuts back to the left-hand side. Ball pops out, but it's rolling forward. Still on the ground, and the Raiders will recover. We might need to take a second look at this to ensure that ball was fumbled. Etienne has been pretty good this year on maintaining possession, but several Raiders players come in. Very hard to tell there. It's a conglomerate of guys, and after 3 or 4 Jaguars fail to pick up that ball, it is marked Raiders ball. And good news for the Jaguars is indeed the booth is going to take a second look at this inside 2 minutes. Coach Boston would not have been able to challenge. Can't quite tell with that angle. Looked like he might have been down. Knees down there, players in front of where the ball is. It's going to be hard to say if they can confirm that he was down. But as the whistle blows, it is Jaguars ball. And again, Jaguars catch a break. 2nd and 4, 47 seconds left. Travis goes right back down the middle and takes them to the 10. The final timeout of the Raiders is called. They could come on out to kneel this one away. Things got a bit crazy here late on, but ultimately, your Jaguars pick up the win 14-10 in the wild card round. They'll be heading on to the divisional as they take down the Raiders for the 2nd time this season. Taylor Heineke, after a really bad start, his first throw of the game was an interception. Helped give a 10-point lead to the Raiders. Defense locked them down. Offense able to put together some very slow, methodical drives. Both their touchdown drives were sitting around 4.5 to 5 minutes in length, taking time off the clock, and ultimately kept the Raiders with less time to find their way back. Of course, that really big miss to Jacoby Myers going to loom over this Raiders team. You're not going to see any complaining from us. We move on to the divisional round, but now we have to face the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been a historical playoff team these recent years, and depending on your point of view, some may think that they get help, some may think they don't get help, but we've played them this year already, and we beat them as well. Back in week 2 of the regular season, 35-27. It was a really good battle between these two. Mahomes had 3 touchdowns. Lawrence had 2. Both of the quarterbacks threw an interception. We're going to have to really focus in Travis Etienne. We need him to have a good game. We need to slow down Isaiah Pacheco. and we might have to have a little bit of some running come on in from Heineke. Lawrence running in that game very much helped us out. 42 yards, converted some good plays for us, and got a touchdown. We need the secondary to show up. Xavier Worthy, he's got a lot of speed. 142 yards and a touchdown in that first game. Travis Kelce, he found the end zone twice on 7 grabs. It's going to come down to the wire, and we've got to find a way to come out on top. But make sure you don't miss out on how this divisional round goes. Make sure you hit that bell icon on the bottom right, or scroll down, hit the sub button, and tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Tuesday and Thursday. They have a very good offense, 2nd in points per game, 3rd in passing yards, 7th in rushing yards. They're going up against our defense that is 4th in points per game, 2nd in both passing and rushing yards allowed. And our offense, outside the passing, is also really good. Number 1 in rushing, number 9 in points per game. And we now have a chance to take down the AFC West leader in the Kansas City Chiefs, who took that 2nd spot from us. They went 13-4. We went 12-5. The Bills, they'll have a chance to take down the number 1 seed Ravens. And whoever wins our game will meet either of them in the AFC Conference Championship, move on to the playoffs. We're currently on the NFC side. It is the Lions with the 1 seed. They host the Packers 5 seed. Number 2, Cardinals, and number 3, Saints. So they've quickly rebuilt here in this series as well. And maybe we should have a Jaguars and Saints Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be fun? But only time will tell if we can go ahead and take down Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, where they are nigh unstoppable. We will see you then as we head Kansas City.